Does free will exist? Okay, so before I get into that, who am I? My name's Gray. I own my own place in Vancouver, Canada. I consistently make over six figures with digital marketing services. I put 20,000 hours into my dream, which is a big focal point of the whole reason I've started this YouTube channel. And I paid for my car in cash. Yeah, so that's who I am. But I wanted to discuss, free will today. Does it exist? Because there are two schools of thought, right? There's the free will argument where a lot of people, the purists, believe that we have total free will. We can decide to do pretty much anything. We can make any decision within reason. That we have autonomy over our lives. And then there's the school of thought that doesn't believe it exists, right? That everything is fated, that everything is determined. To be honest, I'm a little bit in the middle, but to tell you the truth, I don't really believe that free will has that much of a pull over our lives. And there's a few reasons that I believe that. I actually wrote a book that covers a lot of this. It's a thriller, so it's not a nonfiction, because I believe that stories are a powerful way of teaching lessons and learning things, and I actually learned a lot through the creation of this story. And the more I wrote about it, the topic of free will through these characters, the more I kind of started to think that I don't think it actually exists. I think everything is determined. If you want to think that we're in the Matrix or whatever, I mean, I don't think it really ultimately matters. Because everything is kind of an illusion. But I'll tell you what I'm thinking, basically. On the opening pages of the book, I put a quote from Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey said a while ago, when he was doing method acting for a movie, where he played Andy Kaufman, I believe it was called Man on the Moon. He method acted the whole time. There's actually a really great documentary on Netflix you can see where he it's like a behind the scenes filming that. It's absolutely mind blowing how annoying he was. But he says, I pick up the tea because I'm thirsty, right? Do I choose to pick up the tea or not? It's like there are things that you need to do in life, like impulses that we have that direct our decisions. And I kind of lean towards that. I'm not really certain that we have total free will, because I think factors like the environment and our upbringing and just genetics factor more into our lives than any sort of push or pull that we apply to our personal timelines. And I think the best proof of that is in our interests. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you choose what you're interested in? Now, you can't. A lot of people might say otherwise, but you're not. Going further, can you choose what you're attracted to? Right? Can you choose to be gay? Can you choose to be straight? Can you choose to be bi? I think the people that believe that you can choose are probably, closeted for the most part. I think that's why in a lot of religious circles, people believe that you can choose, because if you think you can choose, then you're probably gay, like realistically, because people think like, oh, everybody has these thoughts about the same sex. It's like, no, some people do, and that's fine. Of course, it's fine. But to think that everybody has that choice, it's like, no, you're gay. So anyway, that's why I don't really think free will exists. In this story, Your Reality Sucks, it follows one person kind of vacationing a little bit, a time sharing in other people's lives, right? It involves interdimensional travel. They don't exist in the same realities. They exist in different timelines. It all follows the same dates, though. It's all 2009. The reason I chose 2009 was because that was when I graduated high school. It was a really formative time in my life, and just I think like a lot of other people, it's crazy to think now, because I'm 33. It was literally half a life ago, but I don't know if a lot of people experience this too, but our high school selves, it's like those are the memories that dominate me. Like still, like I have dreams about high school, going back to high school. They're just such formative, impactful years in our lives that it's actually astonishing to think that I have more memories from then than the 17 years that followed. So it's pretty crazy. Sorry, back to the free will argument. I started this video saying I kind of am on the fence, because maybe there's little pockets of free will. I think ultimately things are determined. Yet I'm not really religious, which I think might confuse a lot of people. I just am really finding it a hard time believing that you can control your own destiny. right? Because there are so many things in life that are just laid out for you, right? Especially we live in this capitalist system that I think is odd. It's ultimately we're kind of entering a feudal, um, world order, and feudalism is kind of like back in the days of the Dark Ages, right? Where um, serfs and lords and everything, where you were born into the class that you would spend the rest of your life in, kind of like the caste system in India today. Um, and I think that's largely kind of proof. It's kind of just reflective of how the world works, right? You look at even Hollywood. How many nepo babies are there that control that entire industry? The people that are allowed to be creative. It's ultimately so many really famous people, Robert Downey Jr., Emilio Estevez, countless people got into that world because of their parents, right? Nepotism. So what does that say about free will? And I know Hollywood's an extreme example of that, but how many people out there just work for their parents, right? That it's kind of like, yeah, you can choose to work for them, choose not to work for them. But especially with like how expensive the world's become, which is, an external pressure on you that will, dictate the decisions you make. How many people are going to be like, screw it, I don't want money. I'm going to try to make it on my own. Probably not a lot of people. Most people, given the opportunity, are going to take the easy financial path, which will dictate their decisions. You could say, oh, they had they have free will, they chose to do that. Well, it's like, ultimately, it seems like their decision was kind of made for them. So in this story that I write, Your Reality Sucks, it follows one person spending time as other people. So they experience the impulses, both physical, environmental, also spiritual, of other people living in different worlds. Like, for example, there's one character that lives in an Orwellian society, right? Kind of like if 1984 existed with a little bit of a twist, more modern technology, but ultimately it's a world in which the book 1984 was never published, right? So they exist as a propagandist, basically fueling this big government that controls the world, a Big Brother style government, right? So they've kind of had to fit their way as a puzzle piece into that society, and they've done it by following the rules, getting promotions, and ultimately doing what they can to protect their family. Now, there's free will in that, right? They could choose to be a rebel. They could choose to not go down the career path, but ultimately, most people your decision is kind of made for you in a lot of ways. Like, think about how many people do jobs that I freaking hate. How many people work for Amazon that are like, oh yeah, my passion is working for Amazon? Not a lot. Maybe people in HQ, because, corporate types, they're different. I don't know how many people out there work for corporate types, but holy shit, they're a different breed out there. It's like they're not even really people, a lot of them. Those that really succeed, like, those are the ones that were just kind of like the pure drive people that play the politics and don't do a lot. I guess, I don't know, did they have free will to do that, or are they just the personality type that succeeds in those environments? Anyway, so that's all I really wanted to say today. I guess I'm not really on the fence. Like, I started this video on the fence. Is free will real, or is everything determined? I kind of think everything is more or less determined. I'm curious what you think. Going forward, a few more things. Can you choose to be skilled at something? Yeah, you can choose to put 10,000 hours into something, but even then, can you? Because you have to be interested in something to want to put to apply the 10,000 hour rule, like Malcolm Gladwell said. You apply 10,000 hours to something, you'll be good at it. That's actually like complete bullshit. Just because like time does not equal money. Time does not equal skill. Yeah, you can apply more skill to something, but if somebody's just inherently better at something than you are, say like, I am a 5'9". I'm 5'9" on like a good day. Do you think if I put 10,000 hours into basketball, I'd make the NBA? Probably not. Because of a lot of things, like genetics. That's a big factor. My upbringing, maybe I didn't live in an environment where basketball was a pathway to a better life. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to keep creating more videos because these are fun. So, is everything determined, or do we have free will? Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Thanks again. Love y'all. Bye.